So our research project investigates China's Belt and Road Initiative. It's a high-level policy framework that shapes China's outward economic activities. And the overarching aims of the project are to understand how the Belt and Road Initiative is changing the way that cross-border economic interactions are governed. And we want to explore also the implications for these changes for how power and authority are being exercised in the global economy. The scale of the Belt and Road Initiative is just so big. Over $1 trillion worth of Chinese outward foreign investment, and its geographic scope is so wide. This makes it really difficult to get a handle on. Our research strategy has to grapple with this challenge, and we do it in two main steps. So the first step is putting together a collaborative research team, and the second step is in the design of the research project itself, focusing on particular areas of the Belt and Road Initiative and then seeking to draw out some wider lessons from those different streams of research about the scope and nature of the Belt and Road Initiative as a whole. So as to the first part of our strategy in the research, our team combines a core of scholars with deep country-specific expertise on the governance of China's economic activity, with two other scholars, including myself, who bring perspectives respectively on international investment and international finance and how they are currently governed in the global economy. The members of our team are Associate Professor Kun Fan, Professor Heng Wang, a visiting professor at the University of New South Wales and professor at Singapore Management University, Scientia Professor Ross Buckley, a world-leading expert on international financial law, and myself. The team is supported by Dr. Zhenhu Zhao, a postdoctoral research assistant and expert on China's engagement with the international investment law system, and Zhao Leihan, a PhD student exploring how Chinese state-owned enterprises operating outside China settle their disputes with the states in which they invest. The second part of our research strategy is to focus on three streams of research and then to draw it together some wider lessons on how the Belt and Road Initiative is operating more generally. The three main streams of our research are firstly, focusing on China's development of new institutions for the settlement of international economic disputes. This research stream is led by Associate Professor Kun Fan, and it examines China's establishment of the new China International Commercial Court, and also China's role in the development of cooperative international dispute settlement institutions. The second stream of the research investigates China's rollout of its central bank digital currency within the Belt and Road Initiative. Central bank digital currencies have attracted a lot of attention and enthusiasm lately, but this enthusiasm obscures sometimes the really important questions about the design and operation of particular central bank digital currencies. This research stream is led by Professor Heng Wang and Scientia Professor Ross Buckley. The third stream of the research focuses on hybrid contracts under the Belt and Road Initiative. And by hybrid contracts, we mean contracts between Chinese foreign investors and the states or state entities in which they are operating. I'm leading this stream of research. Our initial research in this stream explores the structure of investor-state contracting by Chinese firms. So we investigate questions like who Chinese foreign investors are dealing with. Are they dealing with ministries, state-owned enterprises in the states in which they operate, or politically connected individuals, as well as questions about the contract structure, how it's financed, what body of law it is governed by, and what systems for dispute settlement have been established under the contract. The initial findings in this stream of research suggest that China's practice in investor-state contracting is much more varied than you might expect. Chinese foreign investors don't necessarily seem to be imposing terms on the countries in which they invest relating to currency of payment or dispute settlement structure. On the other hand, there are some very distinctive patterns of financing associated with China's investor-state contracting. For example, in infrastructure contracts, the contract is often conditional on loans being made by Chinese state development banks associated with the underlying project. In this stream of research, we also look into what happens when things go wrong. For example, does the Chinese government become involved on behalf of the Chinese foreign investor, and what sort of outcomes are likely to result? These findings potentially have important implications for countries throughout the Belt and Road Initiative. They suggest, for example, that host governments have more power and more flexibility in the way that they deal with Chinese foreign investors than stories about debt trap diplomacy might suggest. We can tentatively identify some recurring characteristics about the way that China operates in the global economy. These include tendencies towards more informal forms of dealing, selective reshaping of existing Western institutions of economic governance, parallel development of new institutions of economic governance, often with China positioned as a central node within a network structure, and often also a lack of transparency in the terms in which China and Chinese investments deal with the countries in which they invest. All of these findings have wider implications for discussion in Australia and elsewhere about how we should respond at the political level to the rollout of Chinese foreign investment and influence across the Belt and Road Initiative.